What's the furthest you've ridden on a motorcycle? Have you got interstate, or
What was that?
what's the furthest you've ever
Oh,
ridden?
yeah. Well, furthest I've ridden, I rode from Adelaide to Darwin with a little help from a freight train.
What?
I this was actually that was my first bike, my 250 Yamaha trail bike. It
Wow.
was an XT Yamaha 250, air cooled, kickstart, and I rode it from Adelaide to Port Augusta, which is about 300 kilometres, I think, approximately. And I knew someone who worked for the railways, and I got my bike put on a freight train from me and the bike got on the freight train from Port Augusta to Alice Springs, which was about another that must have been 1,200 kilometres, I think. And and they had like a sleeper car on there because the train drivers would change, and so I got a cabin on the sleeper car, and the bike was sort of in the caboose, the last wagon on the train, and and then I got off. Basically, I woke up in the morning. The train had pulled into the Alice Springs railway yards, and I sort of woke up and it was really quiet. And I thought, "Oh, this train's not moving." I look out the window and I thought, "Oh, I'm in some sort of railway yard." I sort of like I get out of the sleeper car and then I look out, open the side door and I look out and it's like nobody anywhere. I think it was like a Sunday morning or something, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't think there's anyone who's going to help me get this bike off this train. So anyway, the uh, the uh, the rail car and I untied the bike and I kind of it was next to fortunately it was next to a platform and there was a ramp at the end of the platform, so I got it off and I sort of like wheeled it down and still nobody around, and I thought, well, how am I going to get out of here? Is this place locked up or what? I wasn't sure. Anyway, sort of like I put all my gear back on my bike and everything, and all my bags and everything else, and I get on there and I start it up, and I'm sort of riding through Alice Springs, early in the morning, and and I figured, well, because I didn't have to pay for anything, it was all sort of a favour. So anyway, I thought, well, I've got another 1,500 kilometres to go, so I better keep moving. So heading north from Alice Springs. For those who know, it's already in Northern Territory, but it's still another like 1,500 kilometres to Darwin. Anyway, and off I go, and I thought, well, okay, and I ride along. It was pretty. Before they did a lot of the roads up, so the actual road was quite narrow, even though it was a main highway. And I'm riding up, and what I did is every time I stopped at a town, would it be like Tennant Creek or Catherine or something like that, I'd go to the local swimming pool, and that would be where I'd rest. I'd have a swim, I'd have a shower. I mean, I had a canteen there, so I could eat. I could just sort of sleep on the lawn. So it was actually good, for like, $3 or $4 or $5, what it is for entry. I had basically use of the whole facilities, which was fantastic. I was thought, oh, this is actually works out well. But I did camp out overnight because I didn't have much money, so I thought, well, I have to camp out in the middle of nowhere. So I'd just sort of pull off the side of the road and ride in off the road about 100 meters or so, and then set up camp and stuff, move all the rocks out the way, and put some spinifex grass down, put the tent on top of it so it'd be reasonably soft, put my sleeping bag out and that sort of thing, and then try to fall asleep with all the beef cattle mooing away in the night. And I wasn't sure if they were going to come over and check me out, because cows can be a little curious. They lose interest pretty quick, but they can sort of wander around, kind of figure out what's going on. And but yeah, I think I only did that one night because I did go to one town, and I went to there was like a caravan park there, and I went in for a drink, and the guy saw my bike and he says, "Oh, were you setting up camp tonight?" And I said, "Oh, I was just going to go down the road a bit and go off the road." And he said, "Nah, don't worry about that. Just go camp on the lawn over there," because they had like a tent area, obviously. And So he gave that to me. I think I didn't have to pay for it. I think he figured, well, at least I'll be, buying food and drinks there. So that was good. That was good. Setting camp up on grass is better than some rocky ground somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And but yeah, eventually I got to Darwin. Poor bike. I'm amazed it even made it. I was basically, as I was riding to Darwin, I was on full throttle, and all the bike could manage was 80 k's an hour.
Oh, what?
And so I thought, I'm not going to be able to ride this thing back to Adelaide. So because I was visiting family and that up there, so I stayed with family and stuff like that. And then I got the bike put on a road train or a freight train back to Adelaide, and then I just took the bus back a few weeks later, which wasn't as fun, but it was an adventure, and I'm glad I did it.
That's incredible.
So, but yeah, probably basically to answer your question, it was about 3,000 k's one way. Wow. So for a little 250 trail bike, that was pretty ambitious.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, what's it like? Like, what do you wear when you go for a ride that long? Because obviously the sun is beating down on you. What do you just wear?
Oh yeah, well, I had a helmet that had, it was like a trail bike helmet, so I had a bit of a visor above the face, and I had goggles, I think, yeah, and but yeah, just long sleeves, gloves, long trousers, boots. I had to cover up because being out in the middle of nowhere, no shade, so had to keep yourself pretty covered. As long as you're moving, you've got that airflow, you actually don't get that hot.
Yeah.
And once you stop, you get hot really quickly. So that was the only problem, because you're going into the tropics as well. So you had all the humidity as well. So that was that was fun, trying to wear all this gear, and it's like 80% humidity.
Oh.
And but I survived.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it.